Using expensive materials to make products is a routine operation. Using conventional materials, make the product noble, that is the ability. Welcome to say a recommendation, one click 3 times so that you don't spend the moonlight. The protagonist of this issue is from the Old Blacksmith 2099 series. Handle loading and poker pushing. As soon as I saw these two objects, I immediately thought of Texas Hold'em. I think of FAG's dominant picture back then. If you make a mistake, come again. Although the thin brother can't experience the pleasure of showhand in the movie, but looking at them will also have a feeling of drunkenness. Loading and playing cards are actually ancient works that have been iteratively upgraded. Let's not talk about these styles on sale today. Of course, this Witch Boy material has already been celebrated. In the 2099 series, almost all of them have the characters of little skeletons. According to the characteristics of different materials, Zhuang Ma also corresponds to a very appropriate name. The brilliant color of brass represents the yellow spring. Therefore, the image of the big horse is called the king small. The image of the horse is called the tyrant black copper material. Although small, it is very thin. With a black appearance, it seems that he is about to fall into the abyss if he is not careful. So he was named Emperor Ming. These two feel together. Black and white can be eaten all. Come here, the color of the purple pupils is very similar to flames. So this image is called grinding. It also symbolizes the more aggressive style of play at the table. The corresponding stainless steel model, the color is calm, so this image is called Ice Soul. It also represents a more calm way of playing at the table, and these two are put together. Can be described as two heavens of ice and fire. Exciting competition immortals. You have to stimulate me, you have to stimulate me. Stimulate your sensitive store. Oh brother, then you lost weight. Since it is called the appearance of the handle, I think there are 3 highlight channels on the exterior design. The first is the steel balls inlaid on it. In Mengxin Classroom 1, I talked in detail about this beading process. Can be said that it is an iconic design element of the Old Blacksmith. It looks like when the pearlescent chi turns. It can not only provide a power point, it also makes light and shadow more layered. The second is the decorative ring on the lock, which is very similar to the hidden thread of the barrel. Whether this coating is rotated or not, it has a very strong visual impact. And when screwing the lock right, this is a very important force point. The third is the workmanship of this little skeleton image. Speaking of which, let's take it apart and take it apart. The opponent of the large coating is the same material, which is relatively simple to process. The sense of hierarchy is not as obvious as the small code, and the decorative circle of the small code is not as obvious. And the skeleton image can be separated. If you also have several double sizes in your hand, you can change the combination at will to increase the fun of DIY. This skeleton lock is made of alloy material, and the image is engraved. After highlighting the overall blackening, polish the skull to shine. The process is definitely much more complicated than this lock. In terms of structure, there are only 2 main bodies, a pair of locks, 1 pressure ring and 1 bearing, so it is still very convenient to maintain. That bearing is not easy to use. Just change it to another one. The structure of the poker push row is also not complicated. 2 pieces of body, a thread screw, a pressure ring, and a circumference. The back of the upper sheet has 2 arc tracks. Groove. The front of the lower sheet has 2 line posts. Through 11 magnets, the opening and closing of each section of the gameplay is realized. The surface of this alloy also adopts the same processing form as the small packaging pair. Thin the hole around it and then carve and blacken. Then polish the protruding layer to shine. It is worth mentioning, look at this little dot after the letter King. There are also 2 small dots of the pattern that go too far to the edge. And the little dot on the back of the clown's nose. These small details showcase the charm of CNC precision machining. If you pick a shortcoming, Gao Kajin's Fokker broken card, sacrificed some feel for the sake of appearance, although these corners are not sharp, but it is still not round enough to the touch, and there are little hands. I didn't buy the stainless steel model because the black on the stainless steel is old. After a long time in my hand, the black will fade and look a bit cheap. And because the poker push is more exquisite, the small number is extremely limited. Only the feedback of opening and closing 2 sections can be realized. I don't feel very happy. Of course, the god of gamblers can't open too big when looking at the whole cards. Otherwise, you won't be able to rub the cards and change the tricks. I really can't find any shortcomings in the appearance and structure of the coating. Small. Coating. I pushed the stainless steel model, and here I want to express a point. Regardless of the size of the coating, it belongs to the desktop top. Its angular momentum conservation gameplay is also played on the table. So I will only put it on my computer desk at home. The company's boss desk. I definitely wouldn't carry it with me on my desk, etc. Since it's on the table, I want it to be as big as possible. The bigger it is, the more imposing it is. But there is no small size. So many details. So I hope that Lao Tai and Nico can carry out an upgrade and iteration of the big loading code. Or a new desktop top. In the first issue of Mingxin Classroom, I said that the appearance and gameplay of EDC products are very important. But the appearance is ranked first, so the desktop top doesn't need to be much fun. Don't think about portability as long as it looks good. As long as the appearance is good enough to play, it can occupy the player's desktop space. Right? After watching it every day, the brand basically occupies the user's mind. Like WeChat, Douyin, Bilibili, Ichi, these occupy user time. Then the desktop top has to occupy the user's space premise. This thing must be looked down to be valuable. It looks expensive. It's okay. I just want to take a picture and post it on Moments. Sent a small sweet potato to show off. Song Yen took a shot. In fact, not only desktop tops, but I don't carry any spinning tops with me. Why the first? Consider people's safety on the road. Or play fidget spinning while driving. You can't help but observe its light and shadow effects. This will ignore the surrounding environment and pose a safety hazard. Second, consider the safety of the top. It feels good, and the gameplay. Okay, the top is generally quite heavy. And they are also quite expensive. Once they fall to the ground and bump, it will affect the dynamic balance and it will shake when turning. Don't say it's distressing. Obsessive-compulsive disorder looks like it in my heart. Then second-hand sales can't be sold, so the spinning top is generally only used when reading a book. Playing can calm down the impetuous heart as soon as possible. Why didn't I support it? Because recently I was studying culture. Well, that's all for this video. Pay attention to the recommendation of Shuj. Teach you not to spend money. See you next time. Goodbye.